Hey guys, welcome back to my channel for another video. I am super excited to be back with this video, not just because I'm about to go grab a coffee from one of my favorite coffee shops, but also because I'm going to be sitting down in a later portion of this video and answering some questions from you guys, clearing up some assumptions, doing all that kind of stuff. But before I head out, so this morning I just got dressed for the day. It actually is closer to noon. We had some things that I need to take care of here at home this morning, so I just tried to get those done first. And I am going to be getting my kids lunch, and then we're going to be taking a little drive to a coffee shop, and they just actually released some merch that I want to go look at, so that's another reason. But anyways, I thought I would start the video out with a little bit of fall outfit inspiration. My fall outfit today is actually inspired by one of my favorite companies and a new pattern they came out with for one of my favorite skirts. I know that's a lot of favorites, but I'll tell you a little bit about them and go over my fall outfit, and then we'll go do all the fall things. And then I'll answer your assumptions closer to the end of the video. So stick around, you're gonna want to be here for the whole thing so you can kind of see a little bit of what we're up to today and also have a fun little chat with me at the end. I know my last video ended a little bit abruptly, so I thought that I would tack on more of a chat to this video instead of doing it in the last video. So for the outfit today, super basic outfit, have a thrifted shirt, and then this skirt. I don't know how well you guys are gonna be able to see it, but it is the new blue tweed, I think it's called, pattern from Snoga Athletics. If you guys at all wear skirts and you're at all active, you've probably heard of them. They're quite a popular company in like the modest activewear type of things as far as skirts go. I've actually been wearing their skirts for like 4+ years and absolutely love them. So when they had the opportunity to collaborate with them to show you guys their new pattern, I was so excited. So I do want to say a thank you to Snoga for working with me on this portion of the video, but also want to tell you guys a little bit about them because I have loved them for years and years. So they come out with new patterns kind of frequently depending with the change of the seasons. They have several different styles, actually quite a few different styles of skirts. My favorite is the Fit Snoga, and I either get the ankle length leggings or this one is like the half, 3/4 leggings, and they're great too. I love the Fit Snoga, and the reason why is because I am such a girl and I love pockets. Maybe some girls don't, but for all the reels I've seen on Instagram, a lot of ladies like their pockets, and I do too. So the Fit Snoga has a pocket. Whoops, it's actually on this side, on the side of the skirt, and it's sewn in so seamlessly and nicely, and it's a large pocket. So it can fit your phone and a piece of paper and a pen, and if you have like a massive phone, I'm pretty sure it will fit it because it's a really nice pocket, and the way it's sewn just fits the style of the skirt. It doesn't create any extra bulk like on your hip. You know, some pockets that are sewn in create some more bulk. Well, this one doesn't, which is great because this is an athletic skirt. And so I thought I would style my outfit around the skirt today. Did I get to my cardigan? My cardigan is Amazon. I'll see if I can link that below, but I can't link the shirt because thrift store finds. And then I'm wearing my favorite barefoot Origo shoes. I wear them all the time. You guys have seen them pretty much in every single outfit inspo video that I've given you in the past like 2 months. But they're kind of getting beaten up, so some new ones are going to be coming. But yeah, I kind of have some that I like and I just wear them over and over again. So sorry if you're tired of seeing the same shoes. So Snoga actually gave me a discount code for you guys. It is Cherilyn15, and it is only valid through November 25th at midnight. So make good use of that. Use that discount code. Grab yourself some Snogas for winter time. I'm gonna leave the code, the link, all the stuff down below in the description box. Check it out because you do want to take advantage of their sales. I love that they have some great sales going on right now leading up to the holidays, so that's super awesome. Oh, I also forgot to give you my head covering source or whatever. I typically a lot of times wear a veil, but you guys, if you watch my channel a lot, you know I like my hats. I like my different kind of head coverings. So this one is like homemade, I guess. It's a small shop. I think her handle's Cassie's Corner Shop on Instagram. And she uses thrifted clothing to make head coverings, which is really cool. So this one is just a basic with like a tie behind closure or like a snap closure at the bottom. And it's cool. Also, it's getting close to wash day for my hair, so this is a great way to prolong that, where you don't have to see like what the top of my head looks like, but it still can kind of be cute and stylish. So that's all the fall outfit inspo for today. But we are, like I said, we're gonna head out to a coffee shop in a little bit. It's been extra warm around here the past couple days, which is actually a nice break for the beginning of November. Typically you expect it to be pretty cold, but it's been nice, so I've been loving that. I'll have to show you guys kind of what it looks like outside and all that kind of stuff. And then once I bring my kids home and we get for naps, all that kind of stuff, I'm gonna sit down and chat with you guys later with some of your questions and assumptions. So like I said, hang around, and I hope you guys enjoy hanging out with me for the rest of my day. Hey guys, so we're back, and if I sound a little out of breath, it's because I just carried both of my kids up the stairs and put them down for naps, and I'm praying that they'll nap. They slept in the car while we were out, which was not the plan, but that's okay. So I'm praying they'll nap while I sit down and chat with you guys and do a little Q&A. It also is like way warmer than I expected outside. It's close to 70 degrees. I actually swapped out my cardigan for like a corduroy Shacket. I can link this one. It's an Amazon find off of Lulu Prime. She shares a ton of like Amazon deals and stuff like that. Anyways, I thought I would sit down and chat with you guys. This past week I asked for questions / assumptions on Instagram and also on YouTube, and I did not get a ton, but I got some really good ones. So I thought it would give me some maybe fuel to share with you guys. I'll answer those, and maybe it'll give you a little bit more of like get to know me if you're new here. It'll give you a little bit of insight to my life. So maybe a quick rundown if you're new. First off, welcome to my channel. My name is Cherilyn, and I am a Mennonite. That's not my religion. I'm a Christian first, and then kind of a part of the Mennonite culture. So I like sharing a lot of cultural things on here. I was not born Mennonite, so that is something that is a little bit different. That kind of gives me a little twist on how I view things and see things like all around. But anyways, we live in central PA. I don't know if there's much more exciting to know about me, but let's get into the questions. Maybe that'll give you a little bit more of background on me. So I have them here on my phone, so I'm just gonna go through them and answer them as I talk with you guys. Hopefully this doesn't get too long, and hopefully you enjoy it. So one of the assumptions that came in was you no longer play piano. So kind of correct, kind of incorrect. So background, I've played piano since I was 5 or 6 years old. I took lessons for 10 years in all of like grade school, and I've played for church, I've played for all that kind of stuff. That was before I got married. When I got married, the Mennonite church that we go to, they're not against instruments or anything like that, but as kind of a traditional thing, we sing a cappella, so we do not have accompaniment with our congregational singing, so I don't play there. But I played at the church that I grew up in. I also played for like black tie events, fun things like that, at the Christian school that I went to. So I do still play, but I don't do it in that sense. It's more of like a sit down and play our piano here at home when I have the chance. The next assumption, you're planning baby number 3. No. So I'm not saying that we don't want any more children. I'm just saying as of right now, we're not planning for another child at the moment. I'm hoping for one maybe in the next couple years, whenever, we'll see. And we'll see what God has in store for us too, because obviously ultimately he's in control of that, even though we can try and plan and do whatever we want. But yes, at some point we do want more children. We're just not actively planning for it right now. Someone else said, you are very creative and inspire me. Well, thank you so very much. That means a lot to me. I love sharing what I'm learning with you guys, and I hope that it can inspire you to learn new things and maybe figure out more how to do things for yourself and become more self-sufficient as I slowly work on my journey of learning in that. Let's see, what else? Some more questions. How do you keep your home so tidy with little ones? This is such a good question, and I think the first thing I would say to this is you have to remember that I'm the one that controls the camera, so you guys only see what I want you to see, and that may sound really mean, but I'm not filming in my living room right now because it's a complete wreck. There's toys all over the floor. It needs swept. There's laundry that needs taken care of. So my home, I wish it was more tidy than what it was, but I also think it's a work in progress. And with having busy, active children, I want my children to be able to play and enjoy, you know, trying new things with their toys or this, that, and the other, but it's very hard. I don't do a very good job at it, and what you guys see is not always a clear depiction of what actual reality is, although I do try to keep it real life and not always have everything like stiff and starch and all have a place in the camera, although that would be nice. Another question, how old are you? I am 22, so hopefully nobody is too shocked that I am just 22, but yes, I am 22. Another question, were you a feminist before salvation? This is a really good question, and this could get really deep. No, I was not a feminist before salvation, but I would say that I was maybe some of my mindset was a little bit feminist without me realizing it. So I was raised in a Christian home, but I always felt like I needed to prove myself and be self-sufficient, be able to like have a job out in the workforce that could completely provide for myself, some of those things, and that was actually very stressful, and it was very hard to come to a point where I was okay not having those things, not having a career, not having a job, not having any major source of income for me, not having to prove myself and always like look the part and act the part and like, you know, never have a hair out of place. That was a little bit hard of a point to come to, and I'm still working on it. I'm not there yet totally, but it is, I would say it's a very relaxing and peaceful part when you kind of get to that point in your life where you don't have to have all those things or be able to do all those things, or where even maybe if you're someone who has the opportunity to stay home with your children, if you come to a point where you're content doing that and you find your value in just being a stay-at-home mom, that's a really lovely point to come to. I know everybody doesn't have that option or can't even survive on one income, but that is a really great place to come to, and yeah, I would definitely say that's brought a lot of peace in my life coming to that point for me. Hopefully that answers that question. Alright, those were the only things that I got on Instagram, but I'm gonna hop over to YouTube, and I saw a ton of good questions over here, so I'm gonna hop over here and hopefully be able to answer the rest of you guys' questions. Okay, so I have a good amount on here. Hopefully I can get through them without being too long for you guys, but also answering your questions. So the first one from someone says, I love all your videos, thank you. I have the assumption you're trying to change your family's eating habits to be much healthier. I think you are trying to be very thrifty and manage your money well. And then they also said, a couple things. My husband seems very easygoing and a very hard worker. Do you all get time together as a couple often? Love your family. Thank you so much. I'll try and go piece by piece and get all the questions answered. I have the assumption you're trying to change your family's eating habits to be much healthier. Okay, so healthy is almost a, what do I want to say? The meaning of healthy can often change depending on what your view is of like health in general. And so I would say yes to that question, but the reason I would say yes, I'm trying to change our eating habits to be healthier, is because my view of health is changing. So I would have previously felt like health was being super skinny, eating no sugar, eating low fat, doing all that kind of stuff, and really in the past couple years my view of health has extremely changed. And now I'd say, instead of trying to make sure that like I'm not eating too much sugar and everything is low fat, I'm more trying to eat whole food, nourishing food, basically ancestral food, how our grandparents, great-grandparents would have eaten years ago, making things at home from scratch, not being scared of things like whole milk and heavy cream and all that kind of stuff, but getting it straight from the source, straight from the farm, instead of going through a store. Hopefully that makes sense. So yes to that question. The next one, I think you are trying to be very thrifty and manage your money well. I try. This is something I definitely can always do better at, but I do try to be thrifty and kind of save where I can, and yeah. Next question. Nelson seems very easygoing and a hard worker. He is. Do you guys get time together as a couple often? So this is another one of those like questions where we don't get a lot of time just by ourselves together, but we tend to be a family who really enjoys all being together, like me, Nelson, and our kids. And I don't want to speak for Nelson, but I'm pretty sure he would say that too. He loves having his kids with him. He loves taking them to work with him. So we kind of try to make the most of every opportunity we have to spend time together as a family. So tomorrow's Saturday, and as far as I know, we're actually all going to work with Nelson. I'll watch the kids, and we're just gonna hang out at the job site all day long, and that's kind of our quality time, if that makes sense. So we don't get a lot of time one-on-one together, but we try to make the most of the time we have. And sometimes that's even just like Saturday evening drives for coffee or something like that. We really, like, I really enjoy those times and find that some of our best conversations and different things as a couple kind of is at those times. So hopefully that answers your question. But as far as like taking evenings out to go on like just a couple date, you know, and having it scheduled, we don't do that very much. But I think there's other ways that you can kind of set aside quality time as a couple, or even just get in that quality time if you look for those moments. The next question, let's see. Enjoy that you are always happy, smiling, and positive, but do you ever struggle? And what do you do to snap out of it? This is such a good question, and it kind of goes back to what I said with the toys earlier. You guys see what I show on camera. So yes, I do struggle. I can't say I have anything necessarily to snap out of it, other than it's a mix of knowing when you need to push yourself and a mix of also knowing when you just need to take it easy. So there are some days when I realize I'm having a really hard day and either I'm not responding right to my children, or I'm beating myself up over stuff that I can't control. And so those days I try to just say, you know what, I'm gonna take it easy today. If I'm responding wrongly to my children, often it's because I'm trying to get things done and they're not cooperating. I will make myself sit down and play with them and just sit on the floor, read books, we'll play with blocks, and I will just push everything I have to do aside. And that, I don't know, that kind of maybe sounds like a, like in a dream world or in a whatever perfect world, and it doesn't always happen like that, but I kind of try to recognize when I need to take a minute and either put more time into my children, or, you know, if I'm having a rough day and I'm like, you know what, today not even worrying about lunch, we're just gonna go get something out to eat, we're gonna go to a park and enjoy ourselves. So I think when I am struggling, when I'm not feeling, you know, my best self, it's kind of recognizing what you can do to just kind of tone back in some areas. Also, another thing that really helps me, especially when I'm feeling maybe down, I can't really say that I feel depressed a ton, but just sad or down, or I have like heavy things on my mind, is I'll often listen to hymns and sing as I'm like working around the house. That probably sounds like the corniest thing ever, but guys, I'm serious, it works. It's so hard to be down and discouraged when you are praising God or when you're listening to hymns, and they just seem to comfort me so well. Also, sometimes you just have to have a good cry, so don't feel bad doing that. I know sometimes I feel so much better after I just sit down and cry, and then I can get up and face my day. But yes, I'm not always happy, smiling, positive, although I like to be that way, and it makes me sad when I'm not that way. But I guess that would be my answer for that question. Let's see. did you ever aspire to further your studies? So I'm not sure if this question, if you mean college or if you mean even more. So I actually did go to a semester of college. So I got out of high school, I went to a semester of college. I was in pre-physician assistant, and then I actually switched my major into radiography when I realized that I wanted to get married and stay home with my children, and to go through all that schooling and have all that debt, but then quit working to stay home with children after school did not feel like it would pay off for me. It didn't feel worth it. So that's why I switched to radiography. And then I ended up actually just quitting college when we got married. And then after we got married, we started having children. And so I don't have any plans to go back to college right now. I don't know if that'll change in the future. I'm really content where I am right now. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. The next question. Are Mennonites allowed to further their studies / work outside of the home? Yes. This might depend too on kind of the sector of Mennonites that you're in. There's so many different stripes and kinds and stuff, but as a general rule, yes, you're allowed to further your education. You're allowed to work outside the home. But from my experience, Mennonites place such a heavy value on family and the mother being in the home for her children, and it's not an oppressive thing, it's actually a gift thing. Like, Nelson's not gonna tell me, no, you can't go work, or no, you can't go get a job, but I don't even have any desire to. I don't want that weight or that burden on me of bringing in income or going outside the home and then coming home and trying to care for my children and keep a house and cook good meals just in the little bit of time I have. So I'm super grateful that I don't have that burden. Hopefully that makes sense. How many children do you, not your husband, want? I used to have a number. I used to think 4 to 5 children, but I can honestly say since we've started having children of our own, I don't have a number anymore. Children are such a blessing and such a gift, and I feel like it's something that you do need to have good communication about with your spouse. But like, praying about it, communicating well with your spouse is key here, and I don't really have a number. I feel like we'll know when the time is right, when we feel like we can't have any more children, or however God blesses us kind of with that, but I honestly say I don't have a definite number in mind. The next question, how many siblings do you have? What number in the family are you? Okay, I have one sister. She's younger than me. That's it. I came from a small family. Nelson comes from a very large family, so that was actually a lot of fun. I always thought large families were so much more fun. So that's cool, but yes, I only have one sister. Another question, what are your pet peeves? Honestly, I can't say that I have any or that I can think of right now. I mean, I probably have things that annoy me, but I don't know. A next question, when do you all plan to be in your own home? So we actually don't have any plans. The market is kind of crazy right now. At some point, it would be our dream to build a house. I don't know if that's ever gonna happen. We currently rent. We're happy where we are. As of right now, our rent has not gone up at all, which is a big blessing with all the changes and everything going on in the economy. So we're kind of just waiting it out and seeing if God has something special that he has in store for us in the future. So right now we're kind of content where we are. Next one, an assumption I have about you is that you are very good with managing money and have a lot of tips you can share. Oh, I don't know about that, honestly. I feel like when I grew up, we were put kind of on a little bit of a budget where we got an allowance but then had to budget for certain things we wanted. But that never took into account like car payment, car insurance, rent, any of that kind of stuff. So real life has actually been the best teacher, and I think it always is that way, right? Because you never really know what to expect until you have your own bills that come to you. So I can't say I necessarily have any great tips on that. I try, I guess. We'll leave it at that. How do you get alone time with your hubby? Do you go on regular dates? I kind of answered this earlier when I was talking about the question that said, do you all get time together as a couple? So no, we don't go on regular dates, but we kind of just look for the little times and we make the most of those. Was it hard to convert to a Mennonite denomination after being holiness? So for those of you who do not know how I grew up in a Wesleyan Methodist holiness tradition. I guess that's what it would be called. It would be very close to maybe some certain Pentecostals, not quite, but kind of. It was not that hard. Okay, so I've been around the Mennonite culture most of my life because I've had Mennonite friends, and there's not a ton of differences. There's some obvious ones, as in like the whole head covering thing, but I actually do know some holiness that head cover as well, so that's not a big difference. Non-resistance thing, like not going to war. Mennonites do not go to war because in the New Testament Jesus talks about loving your enemies and how can you fight and kill them if you're supposed to love them. So that's something that would be maybe a little different, but I know even in the holiness I think there's some people who have some more who would lean more towards the non-resistant route even though they're holiness. So it was not that tricky. The next question, what inspires you to be Mennonite? So in answer to this question, I guess I would say first off that I'm a Christian, and Mennonite just kind of comes out in the culture that I'm a part of. So it's not anything to do with my religion. Yeah, I maybe tend to fit here best because I head cover and some of those types of things, but ultimately I'm a Christian and the Mennonite is just a cultural thing. Another question, do you ever just want to throw on jeans or sweatpants instead of dresses and skirts? This could get so deep. I know it varies a lot what certain people wear or certain ladies wear in interpretation of modesty and dressing femininely. Sometimes, yeah, it probably would be easier, but I feel very firm in why I wear dresses and skirts, and hopefully that makes sense and doesn't sound weird. So I feel like I've kind of come to a place where I don't really even desire to go out and wear jeans or sweatpants or anything like that because I do love dressing femininely in dresses and skirts, and it just, I feel like it completely encompasses who I am as a woman, so I love doing it. The next question, what kind of Mennonite church is it? What conference would it be, or is it independent? So this is talking about our church, and this is actually the last question. So the church we go to is an independent church. It is only like 12 years old, I think, something like that, so it's not very old. It is a Mennonite church, but there's no like cookie cutter way. Nobody really looks the same, so that's really cool. A lot of the ladies, well actually almost all of them, would wear like dresses or skirts of some sort, but some of them wear homemade dresses. Some of them would just, I guess you could say, look like me, just wear store-bought fine dresses or skirts. Some of them cover with like the cap style coverings, some of them cover with veils. I wear headscarves occasionally. I think there's one or two that actually wear headscarves. You can wear black veil, white veil, so it's a very all different kinds of looking Mennonites come to our church, but it's independent, and it's not part of a conference. I think that was the last question. That kind of ends on a very random question. Thank you guys so much for all the questions you submitted. It was so fun to kind of like think over them and share with you guys a little bit more about me. I am going to end the vlog because I hear Kai up from his nap and I've been sitting and talking for quite a while. But I got through all the questions, and hopefully this video did not get too long and you guys enjoyed getting to know me a little bit more. If you have any questions on further like anything I said, you can always comment down below and I will try to get back to you in the best explanation that I can. And I can always do another Q&A down the road if you have a lot more. But thank you guys so much for coming along with me today. I loved sharing the day with you, especially with it being so gorgeous outside and just having a fun time bringing you guys along. Don't forget to check out the description box with Snoga Athletics link and coupon code. It expires November 21st, I believe it is. So you definitely want to make good use of that in the time between now and when it expires. Anyhow, thank you guys so much for coming with me today. I hope you enjoyed it, maybe learned a little bit more about me, had your questions answered, and I will see you guys next time in my next video. Bye guys.